Are you ready? Let's go!
Don't you sometimes just want to talk about everything? You know, there's days when you can just talk about anything. Need to sit back and chat about nothing at all? Nothing but Julie, coming at you with fun and creative topics and interviews.
Did you hear Julie's podcast? She's got the greatest topic.
Come join the chat about everything, anything, and nothing. So unwind and tune in to Nothing But Julie. Great topics and cool interviews with some pretty awesome people. And now, without further delay, here's Nothing But Julie.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for today's Monday Mission. Short snippet that I do every Monday. Quick story about me, which I was going to turn into a podcast, but I really didn't want to talk about it at length, so here it is. A few years ago, well, more than a few years ago, when my son was in third grade, so we're talking almost 20 years ago, up until he was in third grade, there were a lot of different things that were going on with him. And when he reached third grade, I could tell that he was not going to have an easy time in this particular classroom with these teachers. It was a group of 3 teachers. One teacher I had heard about was just a nasty, and I was not thrilled about putting him in there, but I thought maybe the 2 others will help to overcompensate for the one. Well, as it turned out, this one particular teacher was so incredulous. She was horrible. She loved the girls, did not like the boys, unless the boys were incredibly smart and gifted and belonged in a gifted program, and she just basically didn't have to work to help the kids. My son was an average student, and he always did well in school. He never did poorly, and he never did great. He averaged between A's and B's, and he struggled a little bit in math. That was it. Once he started in this particular classroom, I started seeing a lot of things happening to him, like his anxiety shot through the roof. He was sad all of the time. The way that this particular teacher treated him was just despicable. And it wasn't just him. It was mostly all the other boys. And it was just a horrific experience that affected me in such a way to where I started getting anxiety and I started feeling sick, and I could not take him out of his classroom, and all the other classes were full, even though I tried. So long story short, it was also majorly focused on FCAT, which is basically a test or tests that, the kids have to take at the end of every year. And once you start kindergarten here in Florida, all teachers do is teach for the test. Nothing against the teachers. This is what they have to do. And this is all the kids know about, all the kids talk about, and it affected him in such a negative way to where at the time when the test came, he was sick to his stomach. And this is how it's been with many, many kids. But this was a really horrific teacher, horrible person. We had multiple meetings of how she treated him. I got affected in such a way to where I went on medication. I went on a benzo, and it helped. It helped with my anxiety. At the time, I just wanted a quick fix. And it helped. And it helped me be able to help him and look at things in a better way. And in the end, once he got into 4th grade, he had a wonderful teacher and everything turned out to be great, whatever. I, on the other hand, did not realize that this medication was addicting and I should not be on it for a long period of time. I didn't know it. I just got so used to taking it every day that I didn't even think twice about it until I started doing research and found out that it is not something that you should stay on. It is addicting to the point where your brain will not allow you to come off it. So there were 2 times that I tried to come off this medication and I had severe withdrawal symptoms. Third time was the charm. I did it slowly over a year, whereas most doctors would tell you to do it over 3 months, maybe 6 months. I did it over a year. I did it so slowly, and I have been fine. No withdrawal symptoms. I've been off it for a few years. I'm doing great. Everything's great. Found alternative ways to deal with any forms of anxiety that I might have, such as coping mechanisms, just random general anxiety that anyone might get, and how to deal with it better on my own without medicating myself. The reason why I wanted to give you this information is because it's important that you know that there are other ways of handling situations besides being medicated. Don't shut me off yet. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be on medication. What I'm saying is there are other ways of helping yourself, unless you have not only become reliant upon medication, but you might have done everything that you can to try and help yourself and nothing has worked and you need to be on medication. So this is in no way me saying to you, don't do medication. This was just my own personal journey. I wanted to get off it also because my father suffers from dementia, and this particular medication is notorious for messing up your brain to where you can get dementia. And it was scary, and I just wanted to do it on my own. And luckily for me, I have been successful. But I just wanted to let you know that if you do have these types of situations, whether it's anxiety or depression, there are alternative ways of dealing with them, coping with them, but they might not work for everyone. And also there are some people, especially the older generation, where they're just older and they just don't have the time or want to take the time to utilize these mechanisms. And so they decide to use medication. But you are not alone. I still do have anxiety. It is just a general form of anxiety where I might have a certain situation arise in my life and my almost immediate reaction with my brain might be anxiety. However, I have learned a lot of coping skills throughout my life to where I don't always go straight to that. I have had issues with my neck where I have 2 herniated discs. And I do believe that the way I have been handling it was from an anxiety point of view, even though I haven't felt the anxiety or the heart palpitations, I have been obsessing over it. And it's because I had to wait to get answers, and I like things done yesterday. So for me to have to wait to get answers is what causes this anxiety, not so much the condition itself. And funnily enough, once I got my results and found out what it was, all of that pressure was gone because I finally got an answer. Even though it wasn't the answer I would have liked, I still got an answer. So it's amazing how our brains work. With that said, please know that there are alternatives out there besides medication. However, there's nothing wrong with medication. Just make sure that you do your research and you find the right medication for you. I would not recommend doing any benzos. I would do something that is relatively harmless to your mental health. But with that said, again, you're not alone, okay? And I'm not alone. We're all in this together. We all know that there's times when emotionally we are not at 100%. The question is, what is the best way to handle this? And trust me when I tell you, there's lots of different ways to do it. Like I said, tapping, worksheets. You can see somebody specifically for your issue. So don't lose faith. Know that you are not alone, and we're all in this together. Happy Monday, everyone.